Hi. Sorry.
Last time, I bet you've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, true.
It's not the last time it's post-match to do on Sunday.
Thanks, Vinny. Let me carry on.
Jurgen, have you seen what Mo's had to say on social media?
Heard it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering then, I mean, do you have a different view that maybe it is time for an optimistic message? Because he said in there, we are Liverpool and qualifying to the competition is bare minimum. I'm sorry, but it's too soon for an uplifting or optimistic post. We let you and ourselves down, that's obviously to the fans. But do you have a different view in that maybe it is time for an optimistic message? And if Mo's mood also is reflected throughout the dressing room, what does that say about the motivation within your squad to get things right next season?
No. So I'm just a bit worried about the headlines you create, but the things I say, to be honest. So do me a favor and try your best. So, of course, in a moment when it's in fact that you cannot qualify for the Champions League anymore, that's a moment where, okay, because even when I knew after last game, so they need 1 point or whatever, the other two teams need 1 point, for me it was clear they will get that point. So I drew kind of a line underneath it just because I'm a very optimistic person, but in these moments I couldn't see it. If it would have happened, we would have gone for it. That's how we prepared the week. So if they would have lost last night, yes, then it's clear that we don't have to change now the mood again. And I said at the beginning of the week, oh, that's it. And then in the middle of the week, I said, oh, all of a sudden there's a chance. So, but it's completely normal. I think in the world of social media, so many bad things happen constantly. I don't think that was one of it. So it was just a normal description of his situation, of his feeling. And in that moment directly after the game, he's right. There's not immediately a moment to send any optimistic messages. But maybe an hour later, a day later, I saw him now in the canteen and he was smiling. So I don't know for which reason. We didn't ask him, but he was not in a bad mood. And that's it. We are in the season not since a week or whatever. We are for a long time here, and it was clear it's not from a specific point on. It was clear this will not be a historically good season. I think we said everything about it, that we are absolutely not happy with it, that we made mistakes, that we couldn't deliver often enough, that we were not consistent enough. But I'm not sure. I think the last 10 games, if I'm right, even after Dubai, since we were in training camp, so after the World Cup, was not everything great, but the amount of points we collected since then is pretty good. And if we could have done that over the whole season, we would be in a different place. So yes, of course there are reasons for optimistic views, because the things we showed in the last few weeks, that's definitely the case. We have another reason for optimistic view because of the atmosphere our people created in the last home game. After the Villa game, the atmosphere in the stadium, the way the club said farewell, the day after that, how Bobby said farewell, all these kind of things are absolutely the basis for a fantastic future. So we don't have to make it bigger than it is. It's a football season. We didn't deliver what everybody wanted and everybody expected, rightly so. But we are still really united, and that's the good thing about it. If you can go through difficult moments like we did in last season, I think that's a really good basis for a better future. And so this, I find a lot of reasons for an optimistic view, but I understand as well that after the game, directly when it was decided, that you then, the moment then when you feel it really, and it was for me not different than it was for Mo, even when I might have hoped a little bit less than him, I know that's completely fine. So yeah, the dressing room is not in a bad mood. We learned to deal with the situation. There was no, we didn't get divided in one moment between manager and team, which is super helpful. We didn't put fingers at each other and say this because of you or because of you. That's all good. And if you don't qualify for the Champions League, the best possible place you can end up is the 5th. So that's what we did. And if you would have asked me that 10 games ago, if that's possible, I would have said, no, I can't see that. For that, you have to play much better, all these kind of things. And that the boys did that is really good. That it is not perfect. We didn't end up on 5th place because the last 10 weeks, 10 games, we ended up there because of the lack of consistency before that. Yes, we are very self-critical with us, but there's no reason why we should now put the head down and leave it there until the new season starts. We have, I saw very good signs, and that's the things I will take for next season.
I know we've spoken about the possibility of new signings coming in the summer. Are you wanting to get business done as early as possible, and how likely is it, you think, that you will be able to get that business done early in the window? Or do you think it's slightly changed somewhat because now it is confirmed that you won't be in the Champions League? Does that delay or hamper your ability to get business done?
I don't think so, but we will see. I don't think so. But that's obviously possible. There will be, that always is possible, that things don't go as quick as you want. It's not only possible, it's probably likely. Because there is always the better the player is you want, the lesser is the desire of the other club to let him go. So, and that's exactly what we have to prepare for, what we are prepared for. But it's a long window, and it's a long pre-season and a long break in between, and so we have time. If we get the new players in tomorrow or in 6-7 weeks, it's not a game changer for me, to be honest. In either world, they are all signed tomorrow, and I can tell them when they have to be here. We can start giving them the plans for the summer break and these kind of things, but that will not happen like this, so all good.
How are you looking squad-wise for the weekend? Darwin Núñez, is he fit?
He trained yesterday, fully. Ibu was ill yesterday. Robbo felt something in his groin yesterday. We made a scan, that was fine, but we anyway have to see how we can deal with that. Long term are still out, obviously clear. The rest should be all right.
Thank you. Fraser. Jurgen, despite the fact that obviously there's nothing really riding on this game, Southampton already down, and obviously your position sorted out, it is the last game of the season. It's their last game of the Premier League. They'll be desperate to send their fans home happy. You'll be desperate to try and have something to be positive about for the end of the season. So in some ways, does that give you something that will give everybody a real motivation to put on a good performance?
We don't have to make it now bigger than it is. I don't think it makes sense. So because I'm not used to games on the last match day where everything is sorted before. I cannot remember when that last time was the case. Usually we play until last match day and everything is at stake pretty much. But football, we only play this game to win the game. So that's the only reason we meet, and we have to make sure that I find a lineup with good legs, a lot of desire, and we have to see as we will not take any risk with players. Let me say it like this: that makes no sense. But we have a big group together, and the training week looked really good. So the boys were really into it. It was cool. And but I didn't make any kind of decisions because that's now pretty early, and I didn't see the dog yet. So I will have a brief conversation with him, and then we will see who is in contention. And when we have that, then I have to make sure that we find players who are really in all departments ready for the game. I mean, because I think it makes sense that we make changes. To be honest, just to get fresh legs on the pitch and players who want to show something. Besides the fact that we want to win the game, that's clear. But Southampton, it's a strange one. When we made the analyze, and such a talented squad. That's like football-wise. Really, if you let them play, they will play. They have for sure struggled with finishing the situations off, and find a way to defend in a way to deny the other team more often. But in between these two areas, between the boxes, it's proper football, and we have to make sure we are ready for that, because we all know if you are not ready for that, then the pitch is not only in Southampton but everywhere in the world too big to get anything, because then will struggle. So that's really important that we find a way to defend them if we do that, then I think we have a good chance that we can create chances. If we have that, then we can score. So that's it. I assume the south of England weather will be great for the weekend, so it will be a warm day. And yeah, who wants it more has a better chance to win it.
One of the positives that you have had this season has been some of the young players that have come through the squad and with some valuable time and experience. How happy have you been with the development of the young players that have come through, and are you hopeful that you'll get a few more coming through the system for you next season?
From the very young ones, I think definitely Stefan is a standout player. So that was absolutely that was exceptional. Played like a man. Unfortunately, the kid's body and then the intensity caught him, if you want. But anyway, the signs he gave us, I think, are super, super promising. And who we ever have at the very beginning. Ben Doak, obviously. Nice signs. He's with us in training again. Special boy. Really confident. Has something what nobody else delivers, really. This kind of dribbling, this kind of straight forward bravery, all these kind of things. Technically really good. High speed. Super promising, but very young. Don't want to miss anybody out. Yeah, then of course, Harvey always played for us. A lot of games played for us. A lot of games in a not so good period. Still very, very young. So couldn't keep it up on the highest level, but showed again super signs. So it will only go in one direction. That's forward definitely. And then Curtis, that we got him back, was super important. I think everybody saw that. It's just a long road to become your best version, because as you're young, big expectations, massive criticism from outside, all these kind of things, and to find yourself through a way through that is not easy. And I'm really, really happy that Curtis could finally do that. And super important for us, obviously, our own boy making these big steps, and that's cool. Yeah, we have a lot of other young players, but I think these are the youngest, if I'm right.
Jurgen, you spoke about what Mo Salah has said and his disappointment at Liverpool finishing outside the Champions League placings. Do you sense that that's indicative of how the rest of the players feel about this season? And can that help to be a driver for next season?
Has to. We all think like that. A bit earlier, this is not the season we wanted. We know for a while already. Yes, we could have made it in a little bit, but even then, in the decisive moment, if we would have won against Aston Villa, we would, and I think that was possible, obviously, then we sit here and, hey, it's still exciting. Still, United has a home game, and I don't know, Newcastle plays at Chelsea, if I'm right, last match day. So, yeah, it would have been exciting, but it would have been likely that they do it anyway. So we would have to start earlier with that. It was not possible. So again, I really think this wasn't. It's not a season we'll talk about. Well, maybe about parts of it. People will talk for a long time. And yes, we failed to give the people more to enjoy, but we had our moments. And that's now, after all what the boys did in the previous years. It would have been a normal season if we end up fourth. Not great, but still qualification for the Champions League. So the big disappointment is this little thing, which is obviously a big one. So. And if you look back, sometimes you have to accept it. So we said it before. I'm here now for 7.5 years. It's a really long time. That the things always go just in the right direction with big steps. It's not likely. I think it would have been. We could have done better, definitely, but that there are dips is likely as well. Usually after 3-4 years you change the manager, he starts completely new, everybody accepts it, needs time, blah, blah, blah. This is not settled. Yes, I understand. That's a really good thing that I'm here that long, but it's a challenge as well, because you have to invent yourself new. That's what we did now, or what we started now. And I think that's super exciting. And that with all the trust and faith we have, and feel for each other, it's a super basis. The super basis. Nobody's tired. Nobody thinks, who cares? But everybody cares a lot. Everybody wants to do his absolute best. And I felt in a difficulty, and I think that's really more than worth mentioning it. I felt the unity between us and the supporters. It was so important. It's so important. The people really appreciate it. If there was a point to prove it again, it was like how they said goodbye to the players. It's just, yes, it wasn't great. I could have said, yeah, but you played not good last season. But there was nothing. It was just, we created this atmosphere between us and our people. And I love that. And that will be the trampoline for us. And from there we have to go. And then, yes, this season was not great. And it's, from a financial point of view, that's actually the only problem, really. That's a big problem in football, I know that. But besides that, we have European nights next year. And it's instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, it's a Thursday. Who cares? Great games, atmosphere, we have the chance to do it all. The FA Cup, I heard, will happen again. The League Cup will happen again, so great. We have the chance to do that, but and then obviously the Premier League is there as well. So let's give it a go. And when everything goes in the right direction, it's always easy to feel this togetherness. If it's not going in the right direction, it's much more challenging. And I thought, I didn't want to prove that point, but we did. And that's, for me, the trophy we won this year.
In terms of your planning for next season, transfer-wise, if you get your A-list targets and they all arrive and you've got the squad that you wanted, do you envisage some of the younger players that we spoke about that have been on the fringe of things, do you envisage their progress may be helped by loaning them out?
By the way, now I know it. I forgot Fabio Carvalho when I spoke about young players. Honestly, it might. But no, I forgot him. No, just because now I think there's a possibility that maybe Fabio will go on loan or whatever. So that we will see that. But the thing is, this was not Fabio's best year in his career, clear, in a very young career. But it might have been his most important. No player has impressed me more than Fabio. It's the truth, because this kind of very talented boy came here with big dreams and big expectations. It didn't work. It was okay in the beginning, but didn't work out in the end. His work ethic will give him a fantastic career, because he trained with getting nothing, and for a player, there's only one present you have each week. You line me up. If you don't do that, take me in the squad. It's my only chance to satisfy a player. If I don't do that, it's about you, about the player, how he reacts, and his reactions in a row. Never saw before. Unbelievable. So, yeah, and I'm not sure if he should really, if he goes on loan or whatever, but if we keep him, that's all we will see that. But apart from that, there's no plans. These boys I spoke now about, there's no plans really now already that we say, you go there or you go, no. We want to keep them. If we can give them the opportunity to play, we will keep them, definitely, because they have the quality, definitely. And the next generation, if you want, and after that, that's a different story maybe. We have to see how we do that. But Conor Bradley is coming back, was in a building yesterday, so I saw him. I had a feeling he grew in the timing at the other club, and that's, so we have big hopes for him, to be honest. Luke Chambers coming back, other boys coming back, Owen back now, already back a bit earlier. So we have real talents. Tyler Morton coming back. We will see what happens there. He's unfortunately injured, so we will see that. No real plans. The preseason will start, and then we make these kind of decisions.
Okay. Carl?
You said it makes sense to make big changes this weekend. I'm just thinking in terms of players who might have not played up this season, it's important for them still to feel the confidence to be involved, and is there a sentiment to your team selection? It's a rare occasion that you don't have to think about.
That's great. So far I have no clue where you want to go to, but
Sorry. It's one of the rare occasions where you can allow sentiment or emotion to influence your team selection. So players who have not played much get a chance.
I will see. I don't know. I that was not actually in my thoughts that I want to line up the right team. So, but that could lead to the outside world that's because of that. That's unlikely. I will try to line up a team who's ready for this game, for the 110, 112 kilometer in the game, whatever you have to run. I will more. So these kind of things, for the challenges, for these kind of things, there are different things I've done. It's really, honestly, this is completely new to me. It's really new to me. So last night, we are 5th. They're relegated. Okay, what does that mean now? Usually we play last night and and Sunday we have to win, and if not, then everything breaks down and stuff like this. It's a final or whatever. So that's really different. But I want to do the right thing. And didn't decide yet finally, because I need the information from the medical department. Then I will start thinking about more detailed. So you will see, and whatever you make of it, because of sentiment or because of whatever, that's fine, because maybe it's influenced by both, but in a moment I don't know.
Dankjewel voor de open voor me wel.
Hi Jurgen, I don't know if you've been keeping up with developments back in your home country, but your former club Dortmund, obviously.
No, what?
Your former club,
Yeah.
Mainz. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So I was just wondering if you've been following that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. I'm alive, of course. And I'm a bit nervous, to be honest, as well. So I can say in this case, I would be happy if Dortmund wins against Mainz for once. It's no problem. Mainz, it would have been a bit more tricky if Mainz would have won the last game. Then I think they would have had a chance to qualify for Europe. I think that's off the table. If I'm 100% right, I might be not that much into it. Yes, I hope Dortmund will win. I think it's long enough. I know Adrian very well. I know a lot of people very well at Dortmund. We were always in contact, and we are now in contact. And I know what it would mean to the city, and it's in general. I can imagine Bayern sees that differently, but it's not fun if the same team becomes always champion, and we all know Bayern will strike back next year. So anyway, if there's a gap, we have to run through. And I really hope. It looks like it was ups and downs. It looks like they can do it, but nobody thinks they did it already. They're there. And if I would be in the chair, that would be the most intense period of your life, the day before a game like this, when everybody's planning the party and stuff like this, and you have to say, yeah, do, but don't bother me with it. It's really tricky. So it's a big one, and I just hope that they can get through. That would be massive.
Want de play-outs hebben we dan.